Welcome in to the 2014 USL PRO Championship Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by Jake Edwards as we take a look ahead to Saturday's matchup as Sacramento Republic FC hosts the Harrisburg City Islanders at Bonnie Field. The City Islanders looking to complete a remarkable postseason run. Republic FC looking to finish a remarkable inaugural season with victory on their home turf. These have been two fantastic storylines throughout the postseason, certainly should make for a terrific matchup.
It should be. It's a fairy tale inaugural season for Sacramento. Setting the league record for attendance. They've struck gold out there. They've really got supporters have really got behind them. I think if you ask anybody in the organisation if they'd have prior to the season, if they'd have expected it to go this well, I'm sure they wouldn't have had it in their wildest dreams. To see. Was about 140 plus thousand regular season attendance record. The technical staff have done a wonderful job of putting a really solid team on the field with MLS, USL Pro and PDL experience out there. So it's wonderful to see that. First season they've done extremely well on the field. Off the field they've done fantastic. The front office and everybody in the management team have really knocked it out the park. And really the big storyline is how it's been embraced by the community. To see the support, the Tower Bridge Battalion and the atmosphere at the games, tremendous. So that's been a fairy tale first season, and for them to finish second in the league and host the playoff finals, phenomenal. Harrisburg, fantastic season they've had. Started a little bit, iffy on the field, but they've got it together. Bill Betcher, very experienced coach, really benefited from their partnership with Philadelphia Union. Got some tremendous players on loan who've done very well, fitted in well, playing a really exciting brand of football, and had a tremendous postseason there, beating some of the top teams. So great things are happening there off the field as well. Eric and the ownership and Thiago, the general manager, are working tirelessly, building a new stadium and putting some really exciting plans in place. So there's been a really great season for Harrisburg as well.
Well, Harrisburg is here because of their victories against the last two regular season champions, Orlando City and the Richmond Kickers. And what seemed to be consistent in these two postseason games and for pretty much the second half of the season has been the way their midfielders performed. Jose Burrell, Jamil Hardware, Jan Ekra, all performing really well. And you mentioned the loanees that they've received, and a couple of those have really led the line well for them. Jimmy McLaughlin and Antoine Hoppeneau, and then Morgan Langley last week against Richmond coming through with a goal and an assist. What's been the most exciting part of what you've seen out of them the last couple of games?
I think they've just shown pace, but I think they've just shown how deadly they are in the counter-attack in some of those last games. You've caught the teams off guard, and the speed they've got up front is a real game changer, giving them a huge advantage. So, they're playing as a team. You can see some of the the way the team act and behave together. They're a real tight unit. But for me, to be able to attack with that kind of pace is very difficult. Always help them win these games.
Well, Sacramento, on the other hand, really had to battle to get past the LA Galaxy 2 to take a 3-2 victory after trailing by 2 goals at halftime in their semi-final last week. Now, Rodrigo Lopez obviously stole the headlines with his hat-trick, fabulous free kick to win the game, but it definitely seemed like it was a collective effort. Different people stepped forward. Ivan Mirkovic stepping up, winning a penalty that got them back into the game. Tommy Stewart doing such a great job. Justin Braun, excellent second half performance. And Gilberto coming on and being a really calming influence in the centre of midfield. What's the key for Sacramento going to be this Saturday against the City Islanders?
Yeah, they've got a great team. I mean, as you mentioned, a team. They've got players in all the key positions that are really working hard and doing their jobs, and the Mirkovic is a real engine there in the middle, keeping everybody together, mopping things up, creating things, and scoring goals. And so they've got a lot of flair players, but they're a real team. I think in this game, for some of these guys, it'll be their first championship game, and you're playing in front of a crowd that they're used to playing in front of, but you're playing in front of a lively crowd. It'll be a big atmosphere, and it's a championship match. So, keeping the nerve will be the main thing. If these players can keep their head, keep calm, come out of the blocks, stick to the game plan, whether they're winning or losing at whatever point, just to stick with the stick with the plan and keep going and just maintain. If they can keep calm, not lose their heads, I think that'll be the big challenge.
Now, these two teams did meet once this regular season. It was in Sacramento, and it was Harrisburg that came away with a 2-1 victory in Republic FC's inaugural home game at Hughes Stadium. Now, obviously, Sacramento wants to go out and win a championship in front of its home fans. Might be out for a little bit of revenge, though. What should we be watching for as far as matchups this Saturday?
Yeah, I'm sure that's on their mind. But look, this is the championship final. They want to win this game. You play the game, you play the team in front of you. But obviously, they'll have it in the back of their mind that, hey, look, you can't take anybody for granted in this league. This will be a very difficult game. It's a bit tough game for both teams. But Harrisburg have shown on the road they can beat anybody. They've won at Richmond, at Orlando, at Sacramento. So they have to really respect that. I think both teams are, exciting to watch. Free scoring, they've been scoring some goals, and both teams are scoring, away from home. So I think, what I'll be looking forward to seeing, lots of goals, hopefully. But I think, I won't give it the kiss of death and say this will be a high-scoring game. But I think, for me, watching the attackers for both teams will be interesting.
Well, I'm not sure we can top last year's USL Pro Championship when it comes to goals with the 7-4 Orlando victory a year ago. But we hope you do join us for Saturday's USL Pro Championship game. It can be watched right here on the USL Pro YouTube channel. You can also watch it locally on CW31 in the Sacramento area. So if you weren't able to get to a ticket to Saturday's sold-out championship game, we hope you'll join us to watch live. You can also keep up with all of the news from Championship Weekend through social media at USL Pro on Twitter, and you can also follow our pages on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. We'll be back next week to look back on the championship game and wrap up the 2014 USL Pro season. But for now, for Jake, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.